What's going on, guys? It's your boy Gak Cognac here. So, this is another request video, and it's kind of a video that I've been entertaining for a while. So one of my subscribers was like, "Hey man, you need to tell some stories about when you was working at a game store and stuff like that." So, let's do it. Why don't I just start off talking about the first game store I ever worked at, which was at GAMECRAZY, which was actually inside a Hollywood video store. And I think during like 2001, 2002, they decided to just build a game store out of that place, and which was pretty cool because back in the days there wasn't like a GameStop around. Back when I lived in Oakland, yeah, there was no GameStop around all the way till what, 2004, 2005 when they built one in Oakland. But other than that, you had to go all the way out to like another city. So all the cities surrounding Oakland had a GameStop but Oakland. And I don't blame them, man. It was the fucking hood. You opening up a game store up in the hood, you just asking for it, man. You're just asking to get robbed. So without further ado, I'm gonna put it out there that these stories are gonna be long, and I don't know how long I'm gonna do this for. Maybe like 30 or 40 minutes per video, and these are gonna be multi-part series because there's too much shit in these videos to even talk about. So if you guys want more of these, I'll be happy to tell you, but we're gonna start with the tales of working at GAMECRAZY. All right, so I gotta give you a little preface of how I even got up into GAMECRAZY. I was working as a pizza delivery driver back in the days, and eventually just shit got rough. I was doing it up in the hood, West Oakland. That was the hood of the all hoods, man. And basically everyone got robbed. I was the only one that didn't, but I did get Grand Theft Auto'd, carjacked, and that was it. That was the end of my pizza delivering career. Very short career, but that was it. So I remember I always wanted to work at a game store, but I didn't think I had what it takes back in the days. So it was just like whatever. But then again, I remember that one day after I got Grand Theft Auto, we had to go file a police report and all that stuff. And after that, I was like, I told my mom, "Hey, drop me off at the GAMECRAZY. I ain't gonna be working, so I might as well pick up a game or some shit to play and just chill." So it was kind of funny. I guess God works in mysterious ways. So went over to GAMECRAZY, was right up in Oakland, probably about like 10 minutes away from where I lived. And I walk right up in there, and I noticed a classmate I went to high school with, he was working there. So I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, man? I know you work here." And it just so happens like he was like thinking about me, because he always knew that I was like a big ass gamer. Like I just fucking talked about games back in school all days. And he was telling he was telling the manager that worked there at the time, like, "Man, like this is the dude I'm talking about. You gotta hire him, man. Like this motherfucker knows his shit." So he tells me like, "Hey man, just put in an application, man. I'm fucking like, I'm gonna try to get you in. I'm putting in good work for you," stuff like that. And so after that, later, he talks to the manager, and she hits me up, and I get an interview. And I was like, "Oh shit, that's what's up." So I get up in there, and this is like literally the first interview I ever did. So I'm like fucking nervous wreck, man. I didn't know how to do this shit. So it was pretty interesting. Like I got up in there, I did the interview. The manager was asking dumbass questions, and I just pretty much just answered it. It kind of like, if I look back nowadays, like it kind of felt like I already got the job because my homeboy or my classmate back in the days, he had put in the good word for me. So that's already like how it is. You know, I didn't know about that but until now, where, you know, you got to get the juice unless you want to get in a place, and he juiced me in. So basically, you know, even though she still tried to ask me the stupid questions and stuff like that for an interview, and, you know, after that she was like, all right, man, we're going to get your second interview in with the district manager. And so I interviewed with the dude, and it was like, fuck. Now I was like extra nervous because, you know, I never had no second interview, and this dude's supposed to be like the dude above the management that, you know, decides whether I'm getting hired or not. So it was kind of funny. I remember he started asking me like, yeah, why do you want to work here, this and that. And I was like, man, I remember I went to like GameStop one day, and like the dude, you know, pretty much sold me a game, and he pretty much like told me everything about the game and all the good stuff about it. And, you know, he was pretty honest about the opinions on the game, and, you know, sold it to me. So he was like, okay. At the same time, like, you know, what system do you have? Blah, blah. And like, I was kind of bullshitting because I didn't know what to say. And I was like, yeah, I just got this, and I got the Wii and all that good shit, just to make myself sound like I got everything. But during that time, like, the Wii had just came out. It was hard to get. And I remember I was telling the district manager, like, yeah, man, I got the Wii, man. And he was like, oh, man, that was hard to get. How'd you get that shit? And I was just like making shit up. And I was like, man, me and my friends, we were like camped out and shit, which I never fucking do. I was like, yeah, I camped out and pretty much, you know, waited till they opened up, and we were like the third in line. So I was like, I got that shit like that. And like, so it was funny because, you know, I literally like just was being me and just pretty much said like shit on the fucking interview. And so I'm like, fuck, you know, I'm like, sorry about that, man. I was too excited, you know. I was like, so he was like, that's cool, it's cool. And I remember like later on, he pretty much was talking to the manager, and he was like, all right, man, I interview him, and he said shit or something like that. He was telling the manager, but he pretty much told her, like, you know, just, if you want to hire him, hire him. You know, it's at your discretion, blah, blah, blah. And so she gets me in. And it was cool, man. This was during like 2007. And, you know, like I said, I just started like, let's see. Yeah, I got in and started training like pretty quick, like within like a week or two. So it was kind of weird because they ended up hiring me and 2 or 3 other people. It was weird. Like, I think they had like gotten rid of everybody or whatever. It was only like the manager and the assistant manager that was working there. I don't know what happened to everyone else. They must have like caught all their asses stealing or something. I don't know. So just at that time, it was just, yeah, the assistant manager, the manager, and, you know, my homeboy that got me in. So they hired, and then he was actually leaving. So my homeboy was actually leaving shortly after, and that's why, like, you know, he had put in the good word for me, because he had like got hired at Sony up in San Mateo to game test and all that stuff, and man, left me to it. So from that point on, yeah, they hired like a couple other people, and we all was doing like orientation, blah blah, and it was cool. It was just like a brand new staff. And funny thing was, like, the assistant manager was actually one of my best friend's cousins. So he's been there for a while, and it just be funny, man. Like because he knew my brother, because both the manager and them, they both knew my brother because they were in the same grade together. So it was just kind of like funny that I was just working with like a bunch of people that went to school, went to high school with me. So anyways, so yeah, I get in and I get trained up, and it was cool. It's a chill ass job, and literally this job was like man, like I said, it was hella close to where I live, so it was super convenient. I didn't have to drive all the way to the hood to do anything. And you know where it was at was like this particular GAMECRAZY was like in what they would call the dirty 30s, you know, up in Oakland. So it's still like what would you say, like it was still the hood, but it wasn't as bad as some other places were. So but yeah, like a lot of grimy shit ended up happening at the place because it's just random, you know, stupid shit. But we'll get to that. Anyways, so pretty much get up in there and, you know, you start the training and you find out like, yeah, you kind of like want to get more, like when it comes to sales, they want you to kind of like bundle stuff up and sell the warranty and the game guard and, you know, get the MVP card they had, which was the equivalent of the power up rewards card at GameStop they have right now. And so you're kind of like you're observed through what you can sell. And basically what the manager would do was she would have this little clipboard and she would just write all the sales reps on the clipboard and kind of like put a tally of whoever sold like MVP cards and et cetera, and all that stuff, and just keep a tally to see who's the best of the week and all that, and whoever would kind of get like a reward for it. So she kind of made it a little bit more fun to do because it made us more competitive, which was a smart thing to do. You kind of make, you know, you make competition up in the workplace, and you increase the productivity, whereas instead of just hammering down on your workers like, you need to get this, you need to get that, blah blah blah, just pit everyone against each other. And usually there's always gonna be like one lazy motherfucker that don't give a shit, that's just there. But anyways, I'm getting up in there and it was kind of weird because all the other 3 people that worked there ended up getting fired, or I don't know, like ended up just leaving the place. I think one guy, he had like told one of his homies to get up in there and give a bunch of fake $100 bills to buy like PS3s and all that stuff, and ended up getting caught, and he got fired. So I don't know what happened to the other chick, and there was like 2 chicks that worked there. They got fired as well, or either one left, one got fired. I don't know. It was like performance issues and stuff like that. So I was the last one left. And during that time, it was getting closer to the holidays too. So I was getting all trained up. And my assistant manager, like I said, which is my best friend's cousin, he was like the OG there. He was there longer than the manager was there. So like he knew the whole like system front and back better than anyone in that store. And he was just like teaching me all types of loopholes and all this shit. Cause he was like I don't know. I would say he was like a slick, kind of lazy, but slick, work smart type of dude. So very similar to how I am. And he ended up, like having to leave. So he like entrusted everything to me, like on how to just do slick shit, man. Like how to work smart and do shit fast, how to close fast and all that stuff. He would have all these loopholes, and he just passed all that shit to me. And me being me, I always take one thing and make it even better. So I would like take his whole system and work it out to the point where it's like the fastest. Because I think like he would always be proud of his, like, man, I could close up in 15 minutes like that, right? So I think by the time like when I got good at that job, I would be able to close out of there in 9 minutes tops. And I would be out of there. Like did all the paperwork, counted everything, bam, close that shit up, I was gone. And that was the thing, and no one was able to beat my record at closing. I was just too fast at it. So anyways, let's rewind back a little bit. And so yeah, like dude had taught me all the good stuff to the point like there was basically like no more people working there too at the same time. Um, let's see. During that time, I don't know, people just kept getting hired and kept getting fired. So I ended up being the only one there, and the holidays was coming, and my manager was like, fuck, dude, like, it's only gonna be you and me, man. Like, I hope you can handle this. It was like, I understand if you don't want to fucking work and all that shit. And I was like, I got this shit, man. And I don't know, I just got really good at my job. I was able to like sell and do all this shit, and it just wasn't a problem. Like, all the people came in, they respected like my opinion on games and all that stuff, because I never bullshitted people, man. Like, if I knew a game was whack, I'm gonna tell you, shit is whack. You know, what you think about this game? I was like, it's just weak. Like, pass on that shit. Wait till it goes down in price, something like that. And you know, people would be like, oh man, I like that. You know, like, you're not just trying to sell a game. You're actually telling the truth about shit. And you know, that's how I always was. So I never had to sell a game, because all I had to do is just tell you about the game. That's it, and you would decide. So, yeah. And I remember, so the manager would be like, man, if you stay for the holidays, I'm gonna fucking buy you like a Nintendo DS. And so I was like, all right, I'll stay. You know, I was gonna stay anyways. Where else am I gonna go? You know. So I was getting like full-time work and all that stuff over there. So it's cool. So I basically was like groomed to become like the assistant manager there. But I never got the title, but I was pretty much doing all the assistant manager shit. And it was just freaking funny, you know. So anyways, that's enough talking about like the whole process. But I just want to talk about how, man, there are some characters, man. There's some characters working at that place. Good old GameCrazy. And so there was one guy. He was actually working on the Hollywood video side of of the store. So every once in a while you'd see him. He'd come by and talk and, you know, try to get along with everyone. And you know, everyone thought he was cool and shit. I think there was like the only one guy that like they didn't like each other. I don't know, maybe like game knows game, and one motherfucker knew the other motherfucker's fake as fuck or something like that. And so like they wasn't like cool with each other, man. But anyways, dude was always coming over to GameCrazy and talking about games and trying to get along with everyone and blah 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 blah. So I remember what happened after that was he ended up transferring and working at the GameCrazy side. And so this motherfucker would like come through, and man, he would like steal hella games. I don't know like what he would just straight up jack the games. Like, he didn't care. So like when inventory came up, like shit would be like hella shit missing, man. Like I'm pretty sure every game store had to go through some shit like that. And I was like, damn, you know, like I didn't really exactly know. Like I just found out he had like a shit ton of like gift cards and shit, right? So he would make it look like he was trading in, you know, his games and shit and getting the credit to get all the games. But what he was actually doing was he was taking product from the store and trading it back in, so we would actually end up having more inventory than we had. And then he would use the store credit to buy the games he wanted and blah 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 blah. So, and he couldn't sell for shit. So in order to like meet the requirements, like we didn't really have a requirement that you had to like keep for sales or quota or anything like that. But he would take all that store credit and start like getting pre-orders and selling MVP cards and shit with it too, just to make it look like he was selling it. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? But dude was an interesting character, man, because that guy was like high off of himself at all times. Like he literally would just tell all type of tall tales. And you know, I had a bunch of friends that were like that back in school, but this guy was like older than my ass, and he just couldn't grow out of that shit. So you know how you always have like one dude back at school, maybe a couple dudes back at school that just bullshit all day. So this motherfucker was like that. Like he would just tell all types of outrageous ass stories, and some people would believe him, man. The funny thing was, like, he was such a pathological liar that he'd believe in his own shit. Like if you call him out on some of this bullshit, he'd like argue with you as if like he really believed that was, you know, the thing. And I'll tell you some funny ass stories he would tell us. He would say like he's a game developer, and that, you know, that he was like making certain games, and he was working for like Sierra at one point. And so something about like how he developed the game The Orange Box, and everyone was like, I guess everyone was naive back in the day, so they believed that shit. I don't, for me, I was like, I don't know, maybe is this guy for real or what? You know, I'm like, why the fuck you working here if you like made your own game, you know? So it was kind of funny. So he'll be like, yeah, I made the Orange Box game. Or what was it, Orange Box or Portal? Yeah, he would say he made that game, Portal, you know? And like people was believing that shit, man. So he'd be like, yeah, like I'm trying to make like the next game right now and blah 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 blah. And I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Like he just needed to lie at all times, man. And so later on he'll be like, yeah, I need to go to like New York. I need to go like to do these meetings and shit. And he'll really like go missing for like a couple days, take some days off, and then come back and talk about how he had these meetings with these other developers and blah 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 and shit. So it was funny. And then like later on he would talk about how he man, he got into like contact with like basically this Japanese pop artist back in Japan, and she's pretty much like one of the biggest pop artists up in Japan. And so like, you know, he kind of like had a crush on her. I don't know, he'd been watching too much of her videos and shit. So he'd be like, yeah, man, like I'm gonna put her in my game, so I'm gonna go to New York and I'm gonna meet her up, like that, right? And just let you know, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but he's talking about Ayumi Hamasaki. So you were talking about, man, I'm about to meet her up and put her in my game, so we're gonna sign contracts and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, you're telling me the Empress of Pop, of J-pop in Japan would have time with your ass? I don't know, man. So he would like talk to the security guard and tell her that yeah, I'm about to go meet her up, and you know, I'm gonna be at the hotel and shit, and like I'm gonna fucking like spit game at her, like I'm gonna buy some flowers for her ass and blah 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 blah. So like he comes back and like he goes like, yeah, man, just met up with fucking Ayumi, man, that was a shit. Like I hit that shit, man. I smashed that. Like that. This motherfucker would be like I fucking clapped those cheeks, man. Like I got that shit. And then like for me, I'm like, I know he lying. Shoot, I know he a lying fucking dog. All right. So I'm not even sure like if she was even married at the time, because she's a little up there. And at the same time, man, fucking Japanese were like racist anyways. You know, they're not gonna have nothing to do with a black dude, man. So matter of fact, this dude was like a fucking chubby black kid over talking about he slept with the motherfucking Empress of Pop. Get the fuck out of here, man. So he would say shit like that, man. And I would go back home and tell my girlfriend at the time, and she'd just be cracking up, man. She was fucking hilarious. But you know, I kept my mouth shut because like I grew up with too much fucking liars back in the day. So I just learned to like fucking laugh at this shit. It would be so fucking funny. So yeah, like man, ended up like later on, like, you know, we started hanging out and shit. Like me and some homeboys and shit, and we just be fucking like watching this fool, and he would just like straight up lie all fucking day about everything and anything, man. Like, man, if I would tell you some of the shit he lie about, like, he'll be like, yeah, I fucking got hired at Konami and shit, so I'm gonna go to Japan. So like, fucking like acts like he goes to Japan and then fucking posts all these pictures of Japan and shit, like he actually went there, but none of the pictures was like him in the pictures. So you go like do that Google, you know, drag and drop thing on the Google on the pictures, and you like pretty much see those pictures on Google, so you knew he stole them off from Google and shit. So it was just funny, man. But anyways, stop talking about that dude. We can talk about some other people and shit, which is like literally fucking gold, man. So while working there would be like literally just some funny ass people that would come into the Game Crazy, man, and that's pretty much proves true to be at anywhere you work. There's always gonna be some characters. So lion ass dude, he was one of them. But there was man, there would be like this one guy. He would come in and like pretty much try to exploit the system by, you know, renting games, or basically his version of renting games was he'll come in and buy a game, and he'll beat that shit before the 5 or 7 days, and then he'll come through and just, you know, try to return it and shit, and be like, oh, this shit don't work, you know, like, let me get another game. And the funny thing was, like, this motherfucker was literally, oh my god, like, he couldn't fucking compose a sentence for shit. Like you ever met those people that would just like mumble all fucking day? He would be that one of those guys that talk hella fast and you can't understand what he was be saying. So, and he always would have to be like he always had to say motherfucker in every sentence too. So it'd just be funny as fuck. So he'd come up in here and I'd be like, yeah, man, what's going on, man? How you doing? Welcome to Game Crazy and shit. And he'd be like, yeah, man, what's going on, man? Welcome, man. Like that. And I'm like, huh? It's like, yeah, let me take a look at this game right here, man. Let me look at this game. Like that. Like, and I'm like, what you say, man? So yeah, let me take a look at this game right here, man. There's a game right here. And I'm like, sorry, sir, what you saying? Like, I don't know what you're saying, man. This motherfucker, let me look at this motherfucking game right here, man. I was like, oh, you want to look at this game? Like that. I'm like, all right, man, which game you want to look at? And, you know, there was that one game called Call of Juarez. So he couldn't pronounce that shit. So I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. So he'd be like, and let me see the motherfucking Call of Juarez right there. Like that, right? And I'm like, huh? It's like, let me see the motherfucking Call of Juarez, man. Like that. And I'd be like, the what? The what game? He's like, motherfucking Call of Juarez, man. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd be like, oh, you mean Call of Juarez? It's like, that's what I fucking said, man. Let me look at that shit. Like that. And he'll be like, every fucking time he comes in, man, he would talk like that. And I would like be like, huh? Huh? Like that. Like not know what the fuck he's saying. He's just fucking mumbling all fucking day, man. Shoot, it'd be hella annoying. And literally he would come in, like try to fucking return the game and say it wouldn't work because he's trying to beat all the games off for one fucking price and shit. So I'm like, and then we didn't even offer that fucking like service. So like I just like fucking did it for him a couple times to a point where I'm like, nah, you can't do that shit no more. You just for beating all the games and shit. Because there's no fucking way I let you fucking get the game and, you know, there's no fucking scratches on this game. You talking about that shit don't work. Like, here, I'm about to pop this into the fucking Xbox right now. So I pop it in for his ass just to show him, like, look, that shit work, man. Like that. So can't be doing that no more. I was like, I'm gonna do that shit one time. That's it. Like, you know, we already did it hella times. If you want to fucking rent the game, go rent that shit next door. Hollywoodville got you, man. But you know, there's some broke ass motherfuckers up in the place trying to fucking come up. And that's just how it was, man. Like, I always had to deal with some motherfuckers like that. So, that was one dude. But there'd be some, like, straight up characters, man. I remember there would be these kids that would come in. And back then, like, you couldn't come in. There was a rule that you couldn't come into the GameCrazy side unless it was like 3 o'clock. And there would be like a security guard that literally would like guard the place and be like, hey man, like, you know, they'll talk to the kids and be like, hey man, it's 3 o'clock. I can't come in right now. And kids be all mad. I was like, come on, man, we had minimum dates today. Nope. 3 o'clock. And 3 o'clock, you can't come in. So the kids be all mad and shit, and I just be over there cracking up. Because I remember they used to do that shit to me, too, when I was going to school. They'd be like, nah, you can't come at 3 o'clock. Because, you know, people would cut school all the time, and they didn't want, like, to catch kids, you know, cutting school and shit, coming up in the game store, fucking playing games and browsing and shit, you know? So it's a bad look. So there were these two kids that would come through, and man, for some reason, like they didn't take baths or something like that, man. So they fucking stank. They like literally smelled like fucking piss, man, and ass, booty crack and shit. And so like it was funny. Like I literally like gave them like nicknames, right? So because they were like these two light-skinned black kids, and they would just come and be hella loud and shit and talking. I mean, I was cool with them. Like I chop it up with them and talk shit, you know, play Super Smash with their ass and shit. But like I said, like you can't shake their hands, man. Like one time I shook the little kid's hands, and then like I fucking like touched my nose. I was like, what the fuck? The fuck is this? And I noticed like in this motherfucker's hands, like either he like had his hands up his ass or some shit like that, and fucking like decided to fucking shake my hand. I was like, man, I had to wash my hands like 3 times to get that shit off of me. I ain't never shook that motherfucker's hands again, man. That shit stank so fucking bad, dude. So like literally, I gave them the fucking nickname, the Badussy Brothers. All right, because them motherfuckers smell like booty, dick, and ass. All right. So like one of my coworkers, we hired like this fucking cholo chick, this little Mexican chick, and you know, she a little shit talker like me too, so we would be talking all this shit back and forth, all types of fucking racial slurs and shit, you know, and so every time like they come in, homegirl be like, "What's up, Badussy Brothers?" I just be chilling there laughing at their ass, and they're like, "What the fuck you talking about?" And sometimes you know how motherfucker when they stank, you know, like when you catch them in their own shit, they won't fucking like admit it, man. That's just how it is. Motherfuckers just don't want to admit that they just faking the funk, like you know, they know their ass stank, but they're gonna say like you the one that stank and shit. So they're like, "Dude, bro, what you talking about? We don't stank. That's you." Like that, you know, little kid always trying to like fucking just reflect that shit on you, like that shit don't exist, and we just be like laughing. I was like, man, get your ass out of here, you stank ass. Like back in the days, man, we could talk all the shit we want to the fucking kids, and it didn't matter, man. It's not like nowadays. So back then we'd just be clowning their ass, like, "What's up, Badussy Brothers, man? What's up with you? Take a bath today?" It'd be fucking hilarious, man. Shoot, shit used to be fucking fun, dude. Do some dumb shit like that, you fucking get fired instantly. Shoot, sensitive ass motherfuckers nowadays can't handle that shit. So yeah, there was a kid like that. This fucking shit was funny, man. They would always come in, and man, they would literally like come in like after school, like all the fucking time, like it was like their home and shit. So they would just come in and fucking like argue about who's better, you know, little kid shit, because they were like freshmen or something like that. And they'll be like, "Yeah, who's better, man? God of War or Devil May Cry and shit." And they'll just be fucking like having an argument about that shit up in the store, causing all a ruckus, and now security guy come and tell them to shut the fuck up. Shit's funny. So, and then there was a little other stanky kid come through, and he was like, man, he was a little bastard, little prick, man. And like I don't know what the fuck his age was. He was probably like 13, 14 or some shit. And like he'd always come in, talk shit, And then once you fucking talk shit back to his ass, now he want to like go like, I'm gonna get my brother on your ass. One of those bitch ass motherfuckers. So, you know, one time he had pissed me off hella bad because he was just talking hella shit and talking about he gonna get his brother on my ass. And I was like, bring his ass, you know? And like, I know his fucking brother. His brother ain't gonna do shit to me. You know, like his brother's like comes in like, man, don't worry about my little brother, man. He's a little dumbass sometimes. You know, one of those motherfuckers try to get his brother to fight all his battles and shit like that. Like, man, fuck out of here. I ain't fucking with that bullshit. So, one time it was hella funny. Like, this was like later on in the years though. I think I had like left GAMECRAZY at the time, and we had they had hired this one kid, this one dude named, you know, I'm not gonna say his name, but this one Nigerian dude, and it was hella funny, man. So he was like pretty much there like forever after that until the place closed down. But I don't know, he was kind of slow, man. Like everything he always did was like hella slow. So he would like piss me off because he did everything slow motion. He couldn't even type on the computer with like without using one finger at a time and shit. So like I'd be like, come on, man, you holding up the fucking line. Hurry up and ring these motherfuckers up. You know? And I was just talking hella shit. I was like, why you closing so slow for, man? I got shit to do. I gotta get the fuck out of here. You know, I ain't got time to play with your ass. Hurry the fuck up. And that's how I was, because I was like pretty much assistant manager and shit. So I just be fucking with all my fucking the other guys under me. Like, hurry up, man. You taking forever, man. Damn. Trying to leave. Slow ass. Ain't playing with you. Shoot.
Hurry up, bitch.
Alright. Oh,
do your work. I don't got all fucking day to wait for your bitch ass.
So, anyways, later on, like he, after I left, like he kind of took over. And so, you know, we would have to like put away games and all that shit. You know how it is. Everyone at GameStop and all these game stores, they would have to like alphabetize games. That was the worst fucking part of the job, man. Was literally like just alphabetizing video games all day, because stupid ass kids and shit would come and grab all the fucking games and scatter it all over the fucking place, and you gotta find them all and put it back. And fuck, I hated doing that shit, man. That's the worst part of the job, honestly. And we had to do it like probably a couple times a week, so it's just a pain in the ass. Anyways, dude, you know, Nigerian dude had to pretty much had a stack of games that he all alphabetized, and he was like ready to put them all back. It took him all day because he's a slow ass anyways. He would take forever. So like however long it would take me, it would take him 3 times the amount to even alphabetize the fucking game. So anyways, same little bastard kid came up in there talking shit, right? Like usual. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. You know, talking all that dumb shit for. So I forget what he would say, but he would just say dumb shit. You know, he would just be like, yeah, man, fuck you, man, you little bitch. Duh. What you say, man? You know, keep talking, man. Slap the shit out of you. And so he pulled a fucking like knife out on my ass one day. It was this dull ass fucking toenail clipper ass knife. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like this, man. It was like fucking pull fucking bullshit out like this on my ass, you know? I'm like, don't you ever fucking pull a knife out on my ass, you know? And I slapped that shit out of his fucking hand. And then, like, I grabbed this stupid ass by the neck, because I used to watch hella fucking wrestling and shit, you know? Kane was my fucking favorite character. So I, like, fucking literally, like, choke slammed this stupid ass on the fucking stack of games. So, literally, like, homeboy had stacked up the games about waist high, and like dude got chokeslammed right on top of the fucking video games and shit, and just scattered everywhere. So you know, good old homeboy, Nigerian dude, was like just like fucking like this, like looking at me like, what the fuck, man? I just fucking like not even like had no he just disregarded the kid being on the ground and shit. It was funny. He was like, I took all day to fucking advertise those fucking games, Casey. What the fuck? You know, I'm like, man, this motherfucker pulled a fucking toenail clipper on my ass, dude. I had to do what I had to do. Teach his dumb ass a lesson, you know. And after that, he like got up and ran over to like fucking security guard, tried to snitch on my ass, right? And then like I knew the fucking security guard, so I told this motherfucker pulled a fucking sharp object on my ass. So of course I bitch slapped his ass, choke slammed his ass in the fucking games, and then it was hella funny. So the fucking security like got his ass and got him up out of there. I was fucking dying, man. Stupid ass shit, huh? So, man, those were the days. Shoot. I mean, it's already 40 minutes in right now, and I could keep on going, but that would make a long video. But we're going to end it off on a high note of this little kid getting choke slammed, you know. But, yeah, man, we're going to continue this with part 2 because I got plenty more stories to talk about, and there's plenty of dumb shit that happens working at freaking GameCrazy, man. But all in all, it was a fun place to work at. I wasn't there long, but still got great fond memories of the place, man. So anyways, stay tuned for part 2. Tales of retail of a game store. Anyways, this is Gak Cognac signing out. Hope you guys liked the video. Like and subscribe. And let me know if you want to see some more of these videos, man. I'll see you later. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Bitch.
Why do you go so slow? I got time for this bullshit. I gotta go, man.
That's exactly how you act.